I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that 5 years have passed. The days moved quickly, the months disappeared, and suddenly you are standing in the future looking back at the choices you made today. The question is simple. Would you be proud of the person you became, or would you wish you had started sooner? Most people think success is about talent. They look at someone achieving great things and assume that person was born different. They believe successful people have something special that they don't. But if you look closely at almost every inspiring story, you will discover something surprising. The difference is rarely talent. The difference is often a decision. A decision to keep going when it would have been easier to stop. Think about how many dreams disappear, not because they were impossible, but because someone gave up too early. A student decides they are not smart enough after failing an exam. An aspiring entrepreneur quits after their first setback. A young person with great potential convinces themselves that success belongs to other people. Slowly, without realizing it, they stop trying. The truth is that failure is not a sign that you should quit. Often, it is a sign that you are learning. Imagine a child learning to walk. They fall again and again. Nobody watches a baby fall and says, "Walking is not for you." Nobody expects perfection on the first attempt. Yet somehow, as adults, we treat ourselves differently. We make one mistake and suddenly believe our story is over. What if every challenge in your life was not a wall, but a lesson? What if every setback was preparing you for something greater? Some of the strongest people you admire today were once uncertain, afraid, and struggling. They faced rejection. They experienced disappointment. They questioned themselves. The difference is that they kept moving forward even when they couldn't see the entire path. Life has a strange way of rewarding consistency. Not immediately, not dramatically, but quietly. A person reads 10 pages every day. At first, nothing seems to change. Then months pass, and their knowledge begins to grow. A person exercises regularly. The first week looks almost identical to the second. Yet after a year, they become stronger than they ever imagined. A student studies a little more every day. Progress feels invisible until one day they realize they understand things that once seemed impossible. Small actions may look insignificant in a single day, but over time they create extraordinary results. This is why discipline matters so much. Motivation is powerful, but it comes and goes. Some mornings you feel inspired, other mornings you don't. If your future depends only on motivation, your progress will always be unpredictable. Discipline is different. Discipline means showing up even when you don't feel like it. It means keeping promises to yourself when nobody is watching. Imagine two people with the same goal. One works only when they feel motivated. The other works consistently, even on difficult days. At first, there is little difference between them, but months later, the disciplined person is far ahead. Success often belongs to those who master ordinary days. Not the days when everything is perfect. Not the days when energy is high and confidence is overflowing. The ordinary days. The quiet days. The difficult days. The days when nobody notices your effort. Because your future is built in those moments. Education plays a huge role in this journey. But education is not only what happens inside a classroom. True education is a lifelong process. It is curiosity, it is asking questions, it is learning from mistakes, it is understanding that growth never stops. Some people graduate from school and believe their learning is finished. Others continue learning every day. Years later, the gap between them becomes enormous. Knowledge gives you opportunities. Learning gives you options. Education teaches you how to think, how to solve problems, and how to adapt in a world that is constantly changing. The most successful people are often the most curious people. They read, they learn, they listen, they remain students no matter how much they achieve. And here's something important to remember. You do not need to know everything before you begin. Many people spend years waiting for confidence. They tell themselves they will start when they feel ready, but confidence rarely comes before action. Confidence grows because of action. Think about riding a bicycle. Reading about balance is not enough. Watching videos is not enough. Eventually, you have to get on the bicycle and start moving. The same principle applies to almost every goal in life. You gain confidence by taking action. You become brave by facing fear. You become capable by doing difficult things. Waiting to feel ready can become a trap. The people who move forward are often not the people who feel fearless. They are the people who act despite fear. Everyone has doubts. Everyone experiences uncertainty. The question is not whether fear exists. The question is whether fear gets to make your decisions. There will always be reasons to wait. There will always be obstacles. There will always be challenges you did not expect. But there will never be a perfect time. Your life is happening now. The opportunities you are waiting for may actually be waiting for you. And sometimes the biggest obstacle is not the world around us. It is the story we tell ourselves. Maybe you've told yourself that you're not talented enough. Maybe you've convinced yourself that you're too late. Maybe you've compared your journey to someone else's and felt discouraged. But comparison is a dangerous game because you are comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. Every expert was once a beginner. Every confident speaker was once nervous. Every successful person once struggled with something they eventually mastered. The goal is not to be better than everyone else. The goal is to become better than the person you were yesterday. Progress is personal. Growth is personal. Your journey belongs to you. There is something remarkable about human potential. Most people never discover how much they are capable of because they stop too soon. They quit after the first setback. They surrender before seeing what could have happened if they had continued. Imagine a seed buried underground. For a long time, nothing visible happens. No leaves, no branches, no signs of growth. Yet beneath the surface, roots are forming. Many people give up during this stage. They mistake invisible progress for no progress. But growth often happens before results appear. The effort you are making today may not show immediate rewards. The skills you are building may not receive immediate recognition. The sacrifices you are making may not be understood by others. Keep going anyway. Not because success is guaranteed, not because the journey will be easy, but because becoming the best version of yourself is worth the effort. One day you will look back at this chapter of your life. You will remember the challenges. You will remember the moments when quitting seemed easier. You will remember the uncertainty, and you will either be grateful that you continued or wish that you had. The choice is being made right now in the small decisions that nobody else sees. Every page you read, every skill you practice, every excuse you refuse to accept, every time you choose growth over comfort, these moments matter more than you think. Your future is not created in a single dramatic event. It is created through thousands of small choices repeated consistently over time. So believe in your ability to grow. Believe that mistakes are part of learning. Believe that discipline can take you farther than talent alone. Believe that education is one of the most powerful tools you can invest in. And most importantly, believe that your current circumstances do not have to define your future. The person you become tomorrow depends on what you do today. You do not need to have all the answers. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to move at someone else's speed. You simply need to keep moving forward. Because every meaningful achievement begins the same way. One decision, one step, one day at a time. Years from now, the life you dream about may no longer be a dream. It may become your reality. Not because of luck, not because of perfect conditions, but because you chose to continue when others stopped. Because you chose to learn when others settled. Because you chose discipline when comfort seemed easier. And when that day comes, you will realize something powerful. You were always more capable than you believed. The strength was already inside you. The potential was already there. The future you wanted was never built in a single moment. It was built every day you decided not to give up.